Consistency. Why is it important, and how can you benefit from it? Back in the day, I was not consistent with anything, and I wondered why all my endeavor would fail. Everything I tried to do, I would end up dropping immediately. Started an online business, failed. Wanted to become a DJ, failed. Tried skateboarding, failed. Nothing I ever did, I ended up staying consistent with. Why? Because I didn't have the discipline of staying committed, staying consistent with anything. Until I started going to the gym religiously. Until I started lifting weights and made it a part of my routine. I told myself, I'm going to go to the gym for 1 year. If I didn't see results for at least 1 year, if nothing changed in my life, then it's pointless. I'm not going to change, but I'm going to at least dedicate myself to this one craft for 1 year. And after that 1 year, everything changed. Because allowing myself to go through the failures in that first year and seeing the progress only a year later is what showed me that benefiting from the fruits of your labor only comes from hours, days, weeks, months of putting in the consistent reps in. If I was to give up after 1 month, a couple weeks, I wouldn't be where I was today, and I wouldn't know what were the possibilities of staying consistent for that period of time if I didn't stay committed. Commitment and consistency are kind of two words that interchange and interplay with one another. Because without commitment, you can't have consistency, and without consistency, you can't have commitment. So that's why I believe that commitment and consistency, let's just call it consistency or commitment. Let's call it commitment. Commitment is one of the most important things in a man's life because it allows him to develop into what God has planned for him to develop into. Think about it. If a man was never committed in a relationship, the relationship would never flourish, bloom, and he would never enjoy the fruits of his labor of his children. If a man was never committed to his business, running, starting, and operating it at the best of its ability, then he would never enjoy the fruits of his labor of his business, help and serve other people. By his business helping and serving other people with either the product or the service that he provides. And then if you think about it, if man never stays consistent to learning, developing, and growing a relationship with God, he would never understand what the capabilities of or how to even communicate with God is. It's the same thing. That's why people, when they come and ask me, so how do you have a relationship with God? How can you hear his voice? Or how do you know that he's talking to you? I tried, talking, praying to God once, and then all of a sudden I can't hear him. Or I don't think he's really there. Yeah, it's because it's the same thing with the gym. You're going to go to the gym once and not see results, and then think the gym doesn't work. Everything can be related to commitment. Those who are committed will see the fruits of their labor. Those who are not committed are just going to be little fleas and flies chasing the next thing that they think is going to bring them happiness, they think is going to bring them some sort of fulfillment. They're going to keep chasing the next thing. They're not going to get results. They're not going to see any, let's just call it fruits of their labor, from the results that they're putting in, because they're not allowing the results to compound. Everything takes time to compound, right? You learn something, and then you stack it onto the next thing that you learn. So for example, right now I'm just that's why I'm making as many videos as I can, obviously to provide you guys value, but to practice my articulation and my thinking and connecting to God conscious while speaking to you guys all this value. I'm practicing my thinking while speaking, and obviously I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm getting better. And then I learned something of, okay, this is how I can speak a little bit faster, this is how I can improve my tonality, this is how I can improve my whatever I'm trying to improve on that set video or that set day, and then I practice that. I practice emphasizing my tone in each video, and then I get the tone down. Now I can stack it onto another thing. Let's say I stack on my vocabulary. Let's say I learn a new word, and then everything stacks with one another, and that's how you improve in anything. And it's the easiest to see in sports. Let's say, for example, you play soccer, right? At first you need to know how to dribble the fucking ball, because without like running around kicking the ball, you're never going to improve to the next step, learning how to kick the ball. Everything compounds, and the longer you stick to something, the better you're going to get at it, and the more you're going to enjoy the fruits of its labor and the results that it brings. So, with connection to the gym, if you are trying to build a masculine physique, allow yourself the time for mature muscle to build, because it's not going to come overnight, and it's not going to, unless you're on steroids of course, then you can do anything overnight, and it's not going to look how you want it to look overnight. It's going to require months, years of dedicated commitment in order for you to look the way that you want to look. If it was as easy as going for 1 month, even 1 month is being gentle and light, but even if it was just as easy as going for 1 month, 95% of Americans wouldn't be obese. People wouldn't be suffering with so many health diseases. It's about showing every single day so that you can protect yourself from all these health diseases that come with sedentariness, that come with not building a strong frame, not having the muscle mass that's required to pull you through your entire life and into old age later on. It's not easy at the beginning, it's always hard to start, but then once you've got the ball rolling, everything is just like a massive, it starts like a small snowball at the top of a hill. It's small, it's miniature, you never see it, and then all of a sudden, when it comes to the end of your life, when it comes to the small snowball down to the bottom of the mountain, everything is compounded, everything is placed into one massive ball, and you see everything that you've done in its true form. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that you found some value from it. And remember, anything worth chasing, anything worth going after is going to require commitment. So remember, even through the hard times, it's commitment that will push through anything. One more thing I wanted to leave you guys with is relationships. Relationships. Do you really think that 6 months to a year relationship is what true love is? I guarantee you, if you ask your grandparents, when did you really know what true love is? Or when did you guys really understand what loving each other is? It was probably only after a decade, 2 decades of being together. 6 months is bullshit. And how can you make it to a decade, 2 decades of being together and understanding what real love is through committing to each other no matter how bad it gets. That's why we promise to ourselves when we stand in front of the altar and make our vows, through the good and the bad. And those are the same commitments you should make to anything that you want to go after, right? You want to start that new business. I'm going to stay committed to this business through the good and the bad, through the good days and the bad days. Because you know, now after listening to this, that only you will be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor by committing to the good and the bad. I love you guys. Subscribe if you're new. Check out the links below. And I'm going to leave you like I always do. Create more than you consume. Serve others. Love everyone. Peace.